So pre-inspection for air conditioning for a leak on this Prius. This is a 2009 Prius. And this is R134 refrigerant. If it'll, come on, focus. Well, it doesn't want to focus. It's an Apple. I did this vehicle back in 6 of 2017. And one of the first things I look at Prius at this year, condenser is a very big culprit on these. So is the evaporator at this age. It's being used for an Uber. It has moved down the chain in a family from one person to another as it goes down, and now it's become an Uber lift car. First thing, see that sight glass? Well, before we get there, let's make sure we got no leaks there. Right up under the cap. Got no leak here. We don't even know if we have refrigerant in the system, but you just go for it anyway right off the bat. You don't even know if you have refrigerant. But let's take a closer look. That doesn't look like a shiny, that looks black. See that sight glass? Let's look real close. Let's get down in there. That looks like it was ran low. Now if you look real carefully, the surface, I cleaned off the surface. There's nothing on the surface. But if you look real carefully, there looks like there's little tiny particles or bits on the inside of the glass. Well, where do particles come from? Particles come from usually the compressor. Where does all that darkness and blackness come from? That usually comes from running it low on refrigerant and lack of oil coming back to the compressor, lack of a cool flow of refrigerant, because it needs a full charge of refrigerant for there be enough extra refrigerant not only to cool the passenger compartment, but enough leftover refrigerant that has the capacity to absorb moisture. Yeah, it does that too. To absorb heat. So it goes back down into the compressor and it cools off the electric windings, the heat of friction and the heat of compression that the compressor develops heat. So you cannot run them low, and when you run them low, you start overheating them, plus the lack of oil return. So I already did a visual. I was going around, looking around, and I already did the full visual. There's nothing visual on any of the hoses, any of the lines going back. And I already went to the evaporator. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump right to, just to see if there's anything in the system. So let's go right to looking if there's pressure for me even to test to. Now if I could do this one-handed. Look at it, you see how sensitive that is? Just me taking off this cap. There's always a little blow, there's always a little, just me having this cap. You see that? So there. Just that cap has a lot of refrigerant inside of it, and that's normal because this is very sensitive. All leak detectors are not created equal. You get what you pay for, and I have to do this with two hands, so I got to put you down. Let me see if I can get you there and get my hands in there at the same time. Is that possible? Maybe not. Sorry guys, I like to lump you down in here. And there we go. So I'm looking for that pressure to come up on that. Why did we just go to a negative? A negative pressure. That should not be possible. -2. It's like somebody took the refrigerant out of here and literally evacuated it. Well, let's check the high side. Okay, there might be more to this story, but yeah, I'm gonna come back to this because we went from atmospheric pressure down to -2 vacuum. If I'm -2 vacuum over here, then that's like somebody did take out the refrigerant and didn't put it back in. We'll find out. They're always a story. It's like doing being a detective, and you have to put all the pieces of the clue together to find out why. But not very happy compressor by looking at that black sight glass. I'll be back. See you guys.